Hey y'all, Kelly Whitney here with 36 of 40 things that older black women should tell younger black women but don't. The lesson for today is don't feel obligated to engage in race talk. Now, this one is specifically for my girlies who work in traditional offices. I think corporate spaces are a little bit more formal, so you might not have to worry about this as much, or it may not bother you to engage in this kind of talk. Me personally, not interested. Not at all am I interested in talking about the upcoming presidential race. What do I think of Kamala? What do I think about the latest person that the police have killed? Or anything of the sort. I am not even remotely interested in answering any questions about my blackness, otherness, diversity, inclusion, none of it. I feel as though there's enough stress on you as a black woman trying to figure out how to navigate workplaces, life spaces, etc., without some person coming up to you and expecting you to be the spokesperson for your entire race. It's annoying to me specifically because a lot of the questions that you may be fielding assume that your opinion encompasses the whole, which is ridiculous because blackness is not a monolith. When people of other races come to you and expect you to give some kind of collective opinion about something, it's an imposition to be asked such questions. It's uncomfortable. It is annoying, rude. It assumes that I want to engage in this potentially uncomfortable conversation with you, or that I have some obligation to answer you when nothing could be further from the truth. If you're in a situation like this and someone comes up to you and asks you some race-related question, feel free to say no comment and remove yourself from the situation. You do not owe them an explanation of why you're not going to engage in that line of questioning or conversation. I've had situations where I have said no comment and removed myself, and then later somebody else came to me and said, oh, you made so-and-so feel uncomfortable. I said, oh, the feeling is mutual. And again, removed myself immediately, making it clear I will not engage in that kind of conversation, period. Now, I know everybody is not in a position to be as forceful as I sometimes am with my communication style. And knowing that every situation with everyone in the workplace is different, I maintain it is not your obligation to answer any other racist questions about your blackness. If you don't want to do so, do not do it. And the main reason why I absolutely refuse to engage in this kind of conversation is that Google exists. If you want to know something that badly, it's just a few clicks away. You know what I mean? If you want a more nuanced conversation, then be sure to ask a nuanced question at an appropriate time when I'm in the mood. If I'm not in the mood, don't expect me to answer. Too often, these questions come from curiosity. Hence, I would refer you again to Google to assuage your curiosity. Another reason that I disdain this line of conversation is because a lot of times the people who are asking these questions aren't asking out of genuine interest to know something. They're asking for appearances. You may notice that these types of questions come in groups when there's other people around to hear them being thoughtful and asking these questions about race. Miss me with it, okay? I can tell easily when something is performative or when you have some kind of morbid curiosity or you're the type to indulge in tragedy porn. It's a no for me. It's an absolute forget it. I refuse, rebuke, and refute the very notion of anything of the sort. I used to blog about race for many, many years. I've actually won awards for blogging about diversity and inclusion in the workplace, etc. I suppose my passion around the topic has led to some sort of burnout, after like 10 plus years of writing a blog that I actually still write. It's just that I have heightened my focus on Black women at treatmebetta.com. But Fat Kid's not interested, and you don't have to be interested either, because that is not why you're at work. You are not at work to answer random questions about your blackness. You are not at work to provide information that Google or just a smidge of critical thought would provide should someone care to engage in such. It is not your obligation. Don't do it if you don't want to. That's the lesson for today. And I thought it was an important one because we're about to enter into the political frenzy that is preceding the presidential election. As of right now, we have a Black woman running for the highest office in the land. So there's going to be some heat on Black women, and we may be pressed around the water cooler for our opinions on this and that. You are under no obligation to give it. And I think the reason that older Black women may not tell younger Black women that they have the right to refuse to engage in this kind of conversation is because we feel an obligation. We feel as though it's our duty to try and convince, whomever of whatever. I personally am past it. I'm not trying to convince anybody of shit. If you want to believe whatever you want to believe, that's your privilege as an adult to go forth and be misinformed. Whatever you choose, that is more than fine with me. As long as you don't engage with me in any personal way, everyone is entitled to your opinion. Now, when someone comes to you and brings the ruckus, as they like to say, then it becomes your fight and you engage as you see fit. Older Black women's, feeling an obligation, I think, might be rooted in some feeling like I can actually change somebody's mind. No, you can't. You can't change anybody's mind. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your energy, because if people wanted to change their minds, they would. If people wanted to behave differently, they would. If people wanted to see things a different way, they would. And the fact that they don't is a choice. So you have the right to choose as well. And the choice here is to absolutely not engage. So that is number 36 of 40 things older Black women should tell younger Black women but don't. I hope you guys come back for number 37.